Welcome to the final edition of the Really Good Films podcast for 2024, where we'll look back at the festive films we've reviewed recently, but also look forward to what movies are coming to cinemas and streaming as we head into 2025. Of course, since it's December, the films we've covered have Christmas in common, whether that's bringing a snowman to life in Hot Frosty, to an awkward Christmas reunion in Our Little Secret, and finally an action-packed Christmas Eve in Carry On. Now we know what's coming up, it's time for our extended review of Hot Frosty. Hot Frosty sees widow Kathy bring a snowman to life, and over the holiday season his innocence helps her heal and find love again, but he's doomed to melt. Hot Frosty struggles to pull off its quirky premise. The film's self-aware humour can produce a chuckle, but can also just be awkward, especially when admiring its hot living snowman. The cast squeeze what little is to be had out of the limited material, with a plot that's on the thin ice in terms of filling the film's short runtime. Hot Frosty seems to have garnered quite a bit of interest due to its plot, but ends up being forgettable. It's distinctly a made-for-TV movie, but it's fair to say it's not trying to be anything else. There's a reference to Mean Girls, as Hot Frosty's lead, Lacey Chabert, was also in that film, and Netflix holiday films appear when Jack watches TV. Unfortunately, the latter just remind me that I could be enjoying Single All the Way, a much better Christmas film that most people should be watching instead. It's surprising that the TV show Schitt's Creek isn't referenced, perhaps a joke to our snowman, played by Dustin Milligan, being Frost Ted. Some may be able to suspend their disbelief and enjoy Hot Frosty, but it's a film that most people are unlikely to warm to, and therefore it's worth a skip. Next, we reviewed Our Little Secret, and there's more to be said about this Netflix holiday film, so here's our extended review. Our Little Secret sees two exes awkwardly spend Christmas together after they learn their new partners are siblings. Our Little Secret is a formulaic Christmas rom-com featuring a good lead performance from Lindsay Lohan. I haven't seen her in a film for a long time, and her charisma and comedic acting here shows she's still a great choice to lead a film. The rest of the cast are largely forgettable, apart from Kristin Chenoweth, who, as the mean mother-in-law, is another highlight. She elevates what is quite a bland character on paper into an enjoyable antagonist. Other well-known faces seen in Our Little Secret feel a bit underutilised. Tim Meadows and Judy Reyes aren't given much to work with, which is a shame. In a similar fashion, the film could have been bolder with its humour, with funny situations feeling slightly underplayed. All of this results in a solidly made movie that's just not that memorable. So, if you've run out of your favourite holiday movies, the film is perhaps worth a watch, but only once. Our final film was my personal favourite of the movies we covered in December, and so it's time for the final extended review of Carry On. Carry On follows a TSA agent who's blackmailed by a mysterious traveller into letting a dangerous package slip through security and onto a Christmas Eve flight. Carry On is an excellent thriller that keeps the audience in the palm of its hand. Jason Bateman is well cast as the villain, delivering dry humour while also being threatening. The film skillfully builds its world through strong character development of not just its lead, but supporting characters as well. The time it takes to develop the supporting cast really pays off, as it ensures we care about all those who are put in danger throughout its runtime. It's a shame Carry On isn't getting a cinema release, as it would have been great to see it on the big screen. If I were to be picky, I'd say that some of the visual effects could have been done with further refinement, as there are a couple of moments of very obvious CG. There is also some quite heavy exposition in the film's early dialogue, but once we get to the airport, the writing noticeably improves, and so if the film doesn't immediately grab you, please stick with it, as you'll thank me if you do. Carry On is worth a watch at any time of year, not just Christmas. Now that you're all caught up with our recent reviews, let's sample what's coming soon to streaming and cinemas. Nosferatu comes to us on the 1st of January. A remake of the classic 1922 film of the same name. The movie is a gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror in its wake. I have been excited to see this film since it was announced, as not only is it interesting to have a new version of this story, but it also comes from a director whose past work would suggest he's extremely well suited to bringing Nosferatu to life once more. I'll be seeing it as soon as I can. Nickel Boys comes to us on the 3rd of January and chronicles the powerful friendship between two young African-American men navigating the harrowing trials of a reform school together in Florida. The trailers for Nickel Boys luckily give little away about this film, based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. What I could gather is the film seems to have great emotional depth and concentrate on powerful interpersonal relationships. Nickel Boys also seems to have a dreamlike quality to its cinematography, meaning it should be visually impressive as well. Having already received awards and nominations at festivals, this should likely be on your watch list. Babygirl arrives on the 10th of January and follows a high-powered CEO who puts her career and family on the line when she begins an affair with her much younger intern. This steamy drama looks like it has an interesting take on a workplace affair that will be both intense and daring. It has an impressive cast, being led by Nicole Kidman, and featuring Harris Dickinson as the intern, and Antonio Banderas as the lead character's husband. I will be interested to see where this story goes, and hope the film has a few surprises up its sleeve. Well, that's it for this episode of the Really Good Films podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want more from Really Good Films, don't forget to follow us on social media, and of course, subscribe to the podcast too, wherever you get your podcasts. We can't wait to review more films for you soon.